Welcome, everyone. It's me, DJC Game Studios. The Retro Advisory Board dropping knowledge.
You guys just replaced me live?
Intellivision Amico.
And Geeks with Cash.
And I finished eating. Thank you very much.
Well, and I did not poop. And that's all you really need to know. Have a great rest of your week.
Evening.
We're back. Oh my goodness! And I had taken an extra long vacation. I was everywhere, but everywhere.
Well, I mean, you took like a week, dude. That's not really super long.
Well, no, I actually ended up
vacation.
being like 12 days total.
Oh, well, okay.
Because we didn't do one last week. We did one this week, right? Am I right or no?
Well,
Yeah.
we didn't do one last week. We are doing this one this week. We're in
So it's only been a week.
sir.
Oh, I missed my Astro Smash show by 2 then, but not this one. Something like that. I can't remember. I'm pretty terrible with numbers, math, and just plain out just a lot being a human being in general. Of course, we have Marty Flamingo. We can't have a show without the sweet and tender hooligan. The boys.
We got a full chat tonight. Dude, I noticed you're over 800 subs now. Congrats on that, by the way.
That's awesome. On with Chan says on with the Shillfest. No. Hey. IntelliSlots. 68 Camaro, what's going on? Jeff
Yes,
Davis
it says slots. That totally says slots.
There's a lot of slots in Las Vegas. David Camacho in the house. Holla, everyone. Kurt Bradshaw, what's happening? I'm a fan. I want my Amico. I want it too. Cameron Hayes in the house. ADM 712. Well, hey, it's good to be back.
We seen ADM in chat before. I don't recognize that name for some reason.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm drawing a blank.
I've seen that.
Okay,
Absolutely.
okay. I'm probably just bad. All right, my bad.
I'm always scanning chat. Well, for the most part, sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm just staring off as in a daze, and you guys say something. You'll be like, "Yeah, Nintendo had some really good starter games, at the beginning," and I'll be like, "You know what? Nintendo had some really good." And then and you go, "We just said that," and I'm like, "Oh, I was staring off into space."
We have done that to you a few times.
Oh, dude, it's happened like a lot. I'm like, and then now I've learned to go. Did they just say something? If I say it, they said it, and that's why I was thinking it because I heard it in the back of my mind while I was scanning like chat. And I'm like,
yes.
Yeah,
then going to start saying weird stuff just so you repeat it on air.
To be honest, I was taking a dump when you were getting food. Oh my God, who else here? Dorkside in the house. I love this. PJ Smith says, "Aloha, fellow wood grain warriors." I said that'd be a great band name. And 1 inch biceps is in the house, of course.
Of course he is.
And blooded teeth. All aboard the Amico train. It said something about
this icon always reminds me of Oogie Boogie for some reason.
It's freaking awesome. The Dark Side says wood grain warriors, what they used to call pole dancers back in the Western days. So I was like, "Ow, splinters." Hey, look, it's Panda Sub 2000.
Panda's in here.
He sure is. And the original
Master
Next
System
Level
Rousseau's
game.
in here. Dorkside's in here. Jan Rab will be along.
System.
He is dealing with his kiddos at the moment.
Yes, we'll be joined by, but it's okay. I've got 2 beers. I got a Pacifico and an Oberon.
I'm not drinking
one from
tonight.
the West Coast and one from the East Coast
tonight. So, and I probably won't take a nap before, and I know if I drink them, all I'm going to want to do is pass out.
Well, I have nothing to do and never have any schedule, so I'm just going to go ahead and say cheers anyway.
Well, it must be nice, sir.
It's not. I'd much rather have I'd much rather have a paycheck that I can count on every week and not have to struggle for it. But other than that, I did some cool pickups as I traveled across in my amazing 20-year-old truck that I cannot believe made it from Michigan.
Oh, you drove?
Oh, I drove.
Oh my god, dude!
That's what took so long. It wasn't even the stays. My stays were literally moments.
Were gone forever, dude. That's like it's almost 1,300 miles from like New York to here. I know because I've made the drive. Actually, from Tennessee to here.
I drove about almost 2,500 miles.
Okay, so it must. Wow, okay, that's not as long as I thought it was, because I thought you had to be at least 1,400 miles or more one way.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Dork Side looking for tab, although it's pretty much gone at this point. Hey, it's StashNet back in the house.
Hey, StashNet, I haven't seen you in a while. How you been?
And I want to say hi to George Games and just another viewer.
And what's for dinner is the pizza that I already ate, sir.
The what happened? Oh, you already ate, yeah.
Oh, everybody's asking what I ate.
On December 31st, 2022. Hey, that's awesome, but I'm sure that's just placeholder because it seems like end of year placeholder. But hey, what? Who knows? Who knows?
We've been through that before.
I would hope before that, but
hey, Gorge, how you doing, man? Good to see you.
3D printing one of my custom made puzzles. Oh, that's pretty sweet, dude.
Nice.
No, I went across the country.
Of those. Mike showed me one of those that you made for him before. Pretty amazing.
I have a thing that was for my Atari. It's way down there, and I don't want to get out of my chair. No, it's a 3D printed thing that sticks. It's actually on the very bottom shelf, and whatever. I'm just making more excuses not to move. But it was a thing.
It's fair, dude.
I've showed it on here before. It was Chris the Atari Creep made it. I was on his thing, and I think it was something. He mentioned something, and it was something like a Jerky Boys joke or something. And he's like, someone tell me what that's from. I'm like, it was from the Jerky Boys album number 2. Blah, blah, blah. You know, he's like, all right, I'm sending you a prize. So I won it on one of his streams, and it was it's like a cartridge dust cover for the cartridge slot of your Atari 2600. It says Atari Creep, and it plugs right into it. You know, when it's not being
nice.
used. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Mike Hawk Herds.
That's right.
Try to read it nicely. Has anyone? Okay, so that's one of our topics today because at the same time for the bonus. Wait, you could do 1 and 2 at the same time for bonus content?
They've been doing that on the VS.
Dude, I just got number 2. It was on my doorstep when I came home.
Matter of fact, I owe Thomas Bryan a big thank you. He hit me up and said, "Hey, do you have Morphcat Games or the Intellivision collection too?" And I said, "No." He goes, "Well, I have an extra copy. You want it?" And I'm like,
that's awesome.
You sure I can't pay you something for it?" And he's like, No, it's fine. I'm like, okay. So I'll have that probably pretty soon. He said,
"Hey," and then a wild rab appeared.
Oh, a wild rab
drinking
appeared.
That straight vodka again. He just fills that cup to the top every time. I understand you got to come on this stream and
for your stream, Chuck, I need double.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hey, I'll raise you a Pacifico and an Oberon. So local East Coast and a full West Coast.
Imagine how I have to feel since I have to work tonight being sober.
Nice.
I mean, feel for me.
Yes,
we'll
drink extra.
Sucks to be you.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, yeah, like a Tetris cube. That's sweet, man. Rhea in the house. Rhea, what is going on?
Rhea, how's it going?
Well, good to see you guys. Good to see everybody in the chat.
Yes,
I'm just catching up.
Hasselhoff is in here. Yes. I was saying, so this Intellivision 2 collection come out. So what was I'm sorry, that's what we were getting into. What was the surprise on this one? I hope it's an extra game. Please say it's bowling.
Usually it is an extra game, but I couldn't tell you what game it is. One, I don't have the second cart yet. I've got the first one. I don't have the second one.
I got 2. And there goes my light.
Dude, I got to figure out how to start doing reviews on things. I have a growing stack of carts that I've got to go through and like really play. With 2 more on the way, and I'm like, I've got to start doing reviews on these. I need more time.
I 100% know what you mean. This one I'm definitely diving into, at least making the content tonight. So I have so much tall frosty diet root beer sounds amazing. You know what? The only diet drink that pretty much tastes the same is root beer, because root beer has that bite. What they used to call it, like sarsaparilla.
Sarsaparilla
in the Old West and stuff. That has that bite and taste, so it almost hides that kind of diet taste, even if it's faint. It also, diet root beer, fun fact, has the most carbonation of soda pops.
Back from the Dead's in here, by the way. He said hello. Hey, back.
Additional root beer fact: if you go to Europe, your toothpaste tastes like toothpaste here in the States tastes like a familiar flavor that they have over there. I forget the name of it. It's some sort of like
I heard about
juniper something. And for them, our root beer tastes like toothpaste. So
then they can't drink it because of that.
You can drink it, but you've got some issues you got to work through. You got to A&W, and it's like, what am I doing here?
There he is, Back for the Dead. I was trying to find Back for the Dead. Hey, how's it going?
Like,
and Sean's in here too. How's it going, Sean?
Hey, Sean.
Wait to see a good, nice full house in here. Cameron, take me to Amico Street. Word on the street. Oh, we got a lot of. We'll talk a little bit about some Amico crazy fake news that was floating around while I was on vacation.
Yeah, there's been a lot of weird stuff going around the last couple of days, and I'm kind of like, I'm not going near this right now. We'll talk about this on Wednesday.
It's your job.
We'll talk about it right now.
Sir.
Yeah. Apparently, it was there's been a few like YouTube channels that are just trying to reach grass for straws, and since there's nothing going on right now, they're like, let's make up some news.
It all came from a published article, actually. So there was an article published that went into it, and they all sort of ran with it. Now,
there was
where they got that from,
there was a little work
for it, or somebody pointed it out to them. I have no idea.
No, there was like so many channels doing it before because they're like, it kind of reminds me of, remember when they switched from LLC to an incorporated company, and everybody's like, they're abandoning the LLC. And well, it's just it was funny. Because right here it says Intellivision Entertainment LLC, and on the new one it says Intellivision Entertainment Incorporated. So it's kind of the same thing. And it takes a while for to show the updates. So IGN actually reached out to the company. Go figure, the real source.
What?
And
I call shenanigans, sir. You should never do that.
And apparently the CEO said, we refreshed that way before it expired. And then now if you look at their site, it's been updated. They didn't update the site that shows it. Wow, it was refreshed on June 30th. Yes, they still own it, and no, it's not been abandoned. It
could have been one of those things that nobody was around to update it when they didn't renew the license on it, and it dropped, and then the holiday hit. And everybody's looking at it right around the holiday going, oh, what? And somebody came in and went, oh, yeah, right, click.
I'm not sure why. They are fewer staff than they used to have. Oversights happen. I recall Google forgot to renew their web address, and someone bought out google.com, and they had to pay out of the nose for that. So
that's funny.
Even the big guys dropped the ball and stuff like this.
Good for them. That's funny.
I know. How does it? When did that happen? How does something like that even happen?
I don't know. I wish I'd been the person to buy it, though. Probably got a mint for it.
Oh yeah, I bet they're like, we'll take 100 million. Google was probably like, we won't sue you or get in a battle because we can afford it and you can't. But we'll throw you a couple mil or something like that, right?
There is a term, and I'm forgetting the term off the top of my head, but there is a term that's going through the court system that's trying to like weed out people that swoop up and try to buy copyrights and try to buy URLs and extort like actual businesses who rightfully have that. It's like they're electronic squatters. I don't know the term that's used in the industry,
but that's an interesting name for it.
Over the last 20 years, the court system has tried to like expedite the process so that people that are going in and buying like, oh, you didn't think to buy this variation and now you're screwed unless you like pay us 10 million. Like, no, that's extortion. That doesn't really play out in the court system. But for a while, you've got claims and you've got a court process until a judge is like, no, pay them. Find an amenable amount. This is not worth 100 million, but if you want to pay them 50,000 and just settle this, that's on you. So,
if they got $100, it'd be worth it. It was that or nothing, right? Rabbitude says, "What food you eat that makes you go to the bathroom the most?" Huh? I find as I get older, I just get like constipated. I don't even go like for 3 days, and then when it hits you. No, back in the day, it used to be White Castle. I love White Castle, but after a night of drinking, you go to White Castle, and that next day, you pretty much have a clean digestive system because every single thing inside of you has been removed. It just came out the following morning.
For me, it was Taco Bell. Like Taco Bell used to mess me up as a kid.
I'm gonna go with coffee. just because I drink like 4 or 5 cups in the morning. So yeah, that's
Well, yeah, that's going to be a diuretic for anybody, dude. That's almost like that. You're drinking like a pot. Come on.
a couple pots. Yeah.
I still haven't got the Morph Cat selection. Oh my god, I got to catch up here. I'm really weird.
Morph Cat collection, I think, has micro mages on it, which I've heard really good things about.
Yeah, that's the one I want to get. What was the other one? Gremlin was the other one as well.
The Gremlin collection. I haven't heard as many amazing things about that.
I just like the off-the-wall small publishers and developers. I love that Evercade is doing deals with those sorts of companies. I think
I'm absolutely loving the fact that they're going after indies and homebrews and stuff like that and giving them, particularly the ones that were just releasing. They weren't even releasing on Steam. They're releasing on other websites and trying to do physical cards. The fact that they're getting those on there is phenomenal because in my case, that's about the only way that I could find those. Like the Twin Dragons. I don't think I would have gotten a copy of that if it hadn't been for that Indie Heroes card.
And now with this new one, with what is it, Always Awakening and
I forgot about that one.
They have the
Always
first
Awakening you can get digitally on most platforms. Though.
Yes,
I've heard good things about it, but I've heard it's stupidly hard.
But the other one is like the first version that is a unique port to Evercade, so they have an exclusive version to the platform, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, to finally say like, okay, why do I have this system when I can get so many alternatives? Well, you get a handful of these that are only on Evercade, and it just kind of builds a rationale for having it. So it's nice to see them going in that direction.
Does anybody know if the EXP is going to have a better hardware specs on it? Because I mean, not that my handheld runs badly, but if I can get one that's got a little bit beefier specs, that might be advantageous.
I don't know.
Flamin' Hot Cheetos is a good one. In Sweet and Tender, I was saying 16. Absolutely, I've ate 16 White Castles at a time, and a couple bags of onion chips too, and probably a drink. So I could probably pound back.
See, that's like Crystal in the South. Yeah. White Castle and Crystal are a very similar chain.
Fat Burger, White Castle, Crystal. There's like a lot of.
I never went to Crystal and ordered any less than like 10 crystals. It's just a waste of my time.
Now, when I was a kid, like 5 or 6, I swear I could eat like 30 of the things, just like nonstop. I don't know how I did it.
I
just remember like
with Big Macs.
You want to build castles and like you go and talk to strangers, and I didn't want to, but like go and like, can I borrow your little boxes to like build my little castles on the table? And they're like, yeah, you're a cute kid. And then when I'm like 15 doing it, they're like, go away.
Now it's just getting weird.
Like, I just like to
You're
recycle.
Still going up there. Can I have anyone's boxes? Like, get away from me.
Are you going to eat your pickle?
Hey, Charles Hill. Hey, 90s Reloaded. How you doing?
Yeah, I was going to say, we have a lot of people jumping in here. Hey, what's up?
I'm trying to catch a few people here and there. Retro
Blood Distracted says my White Castle record was 20. Hassel, blah, 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 blah. Outputs, talking about that. The Impossible, see, so that's, I've had like the Impossible meat. It's not bad. It's not. I mean, I always like a genuine burger, but it's not terrible. But yeah, I would wonder what it would do to the like the digestive tract. Like
I've had some of the Impossible meat before in a couple meals, and it just tastes just enough off to me that I'm just not used to it. I think is the big problem.
See, the texture and the greasiness for me was like too familiar. It like made me retch, so I can't eat the Impossible. I'm happy to do the veggie burgers and garden burgers.
I don't mind.
I think I like the veggie burgers better, honestly.
Dude, I like there was one called, I think it was it the brand called Garden Burger or something, where they had it really mashed together. It was real good. And
those are pretty common veggie burgers.
Funny thing, there's a place, I think it's the bar up the street that had them for their veggie burgers, because I like a good real burger, obviously. But I was like, I loved the taste of their veggie burger and how they would cook it. But I'd have them throw bacon and pepper jack cheese on it, like just totally ruin the whole vegan.
Not totally ruined it, man. I mean, it's still a little bit better for you than if you'd had like
bacon,
the full-on burger. But yeah, I mean, sort of defeating the point.
Rabbit Dude says used to pick the little onions out of White Castle boxes. Oh my god, I remember that. And like Rab said, I just remember popping them together, seeing how many cubes you can make with 2 boxes, and that would be like your stack. You'd be like, you're so proud of how high you could get that cardboard wall.
We were struggling for entertainment in the 70s and 80s.
Papa John's is the way to go if you want a pizza that'll make you dump. Oh my God, the chat just jumped like 30 people. Hold on. Like David Camacho says, this is turning into a conversation.
It is.
White Castle.
We kind of derailed early tonight, actually.
I know.
We never got out of the train yard. There's no rail to get on.
That's true.
We just sort of rolled over
Charles,
in the ditch.
I'm looking forward to the Morph Cats collection. I'm actually looking forward to the Intellivision 2 collection. I got to break out. I've got a bunch of Atari collections, a bunch of Intellivision collections. I just need to dig into them. What I need to start doing on my channel since I started moving content around is to set like an Evercade stream night or something like that, and just pop in a cart and just play it for a couple hours, just to get a feel for them.
Yeah, I need to. Well, I can't wait to start this Intellivision 2. By the way, Back from the Dead says put 22 packs of. He got 22 packs of fire sauce on a crunch wrap.
Ooh, no, thank you. I don't think I'd even be able to taste the food at that point. See, I don't know. Maybe it's the because I didn't have an Impossible Burger. I had like one of those frozen meals that used the Impossible meat. And I didn't care for that. Now it could have been it was a frozen meal, but I don't know.
Mrs. Swanson's laxative assist.
I love this. Dozen White Castles, 3 cans of Foster's would be in the ICU. Exactly, man. It's like just remember. I remember eating like a Big Mac or a Whopper, and then you get like I used to get a 20p. Well, I was also just gaining weight, but I always was skinny growing up. And then right when I hit about 30 or so, I had to start watching my weight. I started gaining, but I would sit there in my 20s and
that metabolism cliff.
Yeah, I'd literally get a 20-piece nugget.
It's called a metabolism crash, my dude.
Two double cheeseburgers, a Big Mac, and a large fry, and I'd pound back a couple beers or a giant Coca-Cola, and then back then they used to always be, would you like to supersize that? You know. Oh, excuse
Wouldn't
me.
I?
Yeah, I did that. I have one Big Mac today.
They still do that today on most places. They ask you if you want to like biggie size it or supersize it or whatever the heck it's called. Every chain calls it something different.
Whataburger is awesome, Charles Hayes. Those I see those in Arizona when I went there. I had a couple of those.
Bucket of soda won't fit in my cup
here, and I had it once when I was in California, and it reminded me of a slightly better McDonald's.
Yeah,
but I'm not a big fan of McDonald's.
In-N-Out is really good.
It was better, but it wasn't my favorite.
In-N-Out when I was out west, I forgot to. I did get some. I went to some local places that I go to that are only in those places. But Camaro says a possible Whopper tastes okay, but it was an industrial clean out.
So, sick, are you trying to say the site is?
Yeah,
I got an Art Big Fall shirt on.
He is probably one of the only ones. I got one, and
available nowhere.
Available nowhere. I think I printed like 4 of them when we went out to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I realized I hadn't worn this one in a while. I've worn your other one more, the one that just has your logo on it. I'm like, you know what? Let's break out the Art Big Fall one tonight.
Who else has to poop before? So there's a place out on the West Coast called Tommy Burger. That's what I forgot to go to, which takes like here in Michigan and probably New York, we have Coney Island chili, which is like a really smooth, savory
not the type
chili.
Of chili you're talking about. It doesn't have any kind of beans. It's just kind of like a meat sauce.
It's like a mash pulp of chili, but it's so good and greasy and delicious. Chili fries, chili burgers, chili dogs.
My wife raves on that, but then she's originally from Michigan too.
Yeah, well, Nationals is the big one here. It's called National Coney Island. But on the West Coast, they have one called Tommy Burger, and they take these burgers, big, thick, juicy burgers, double cheeseburgers, whatever, and they just pile on. It's almost like a whole bowl of chili. And then you put peppers and all this stuff, and you're eating it, and you get done, you're like, oh, and all of a sudden, they have literally on the outside of their fast food building, they have like 4 bathroom doors. And people are like, oh, and they go, you just run right in afterwards. Like, at least I did. I don't know what to.
See, the burger you're describing is not one that I would pick up. I'd use like a fork and knife on that. It's kind of like having
people driving by on the street are like, I need to stop there.
Like chicken rings were awesome too, man. I used to love the onion chips. To me, are the best. Oh yeah, there we go. Double animal style In-N-Out and a lettuce wrap. Yeah, they have awesome. And then they got the little secret menus and stuff. The butter burger. Oh yeah, man. There's a butter burger. There's a place called Culver's that does that.
Yep, we got those around here. And they're not bad. It's
guys,
not
I'm
my
trying to
favorite
catch up.
burger. It's a little too oily because of the butter that it's not my favorite to eat.
Colonel Mustards, that sounds pretty good. Oh, I skipped a bunch of people. Sorry, guys. I was working at Taco Bell when the Beefy Crunch burritos came out. Oh, with the Fritos, dude, I used to love those to the point when they discontinued them, I'd make them at home and just crush a bunch of Fritos in there. Something about that crunch and the spicy Fritos. Oh, my God. I don't do any more, but that sounded awesome. Anyways,
should be like the easiest thing to recreate at home, and yet.
Yeah, right.
By the way, I don't know if we've said hi to him yet, but TV's Hasselhoff is in here. How's it going, man?
Yes, I was. It's the chat's like extra jumpy today. Like I went to look at it, and it's like
we were gone for a week, and everybody's coming back in to get their fix, dude. Or their hate watch on. We get both kinds. It's fine.
St. Louis is the best pizza. I think. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Morph Cat. Yeah, that's the one I really was looking forward to getting first, or getting next, I should say. So this was on my door. The Intellivision Collection 2. Nick, you said you don't have this, or
I don't. It's coming to me soon.
I was surprised. I shouldn't say I'm surprised.
One of the friends of the channel sent that and Morph Cats to me.
That's awesome.
So because he had extra copies of both, and I'm like, are you sure I can't pay you for that?
That's awesome, though, man. Like, this has a decent lineup, but it's also got a couple questionable ones. I'm going to be a little critical on this. And also one missing that I wanted and wanted so bad, which is bowling. Intellivision bowling.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say bowling.
Use number pad. It was literally click, 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 for the most part. But what's on here is auto racing. And then you got Cloudy Mountain, Dungeons and Dragons, which is great. Hover Force, not sure how great of a title that is. I played it before. It's okay for the time.
For the time, it was pretty ahead of its time. I mean, that was like,
it was more like a
3D perspective.
Downward. Yeah, kind of,
pseudo 3D perspective.
Yeah, right. Motocross, not too bad. Mountain Madness, Super Pro Skiing, decent. But then here's where it just kind of falls apart. And I'm talking about Reversey. Like, were you like, I can't wait to get home and play some Intellivision Reversey? Oh my God! can't wait to bring all my friends over and play Reverse.
But they have Vectron. Evercade. It's like your favorite.
Yeah.
Okay, and then explain Vectron.
I've never played Vectron. I don't know if I can explain Vectron, even if I played Vectron. However, Tower of Dune has some amazing cover art on it.
Holy shit!
You build your base and you don't let the enemies destroy you. It's Vectron. Good luck figuring that out.
Drinking beer and smoking medical cannabis. It's chill.
But I mean, this is what Evercade does. They have really interesting games that are like, okay, I got to get that cart. And then they have a bunch of stuff that is, you could take or leave.
Yeah, they do a couple of like weird picks on every cart I've found.
If you put Reversey or Vectron or a couple of those others out on the wild by themselves, I don't think they sell very much. So package them with the ones that do. Package them with Tower of Doom, Cloudy Mountain, Super Pro Skiing. I mean, this is a good, I think it's a pretty good collection.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah. So anyway, Reversey, Vectron, and Stadium Mud Buggies were the ones I was like, I don't understand why these are on here, but I understand they own them. I mean, there's going to be more collections. I understand that. But then you got Sharp Shot, which is fairly decent. Little 3 little mini games. Then you got Star Strike, which I think is just definitely what you want to have. And then you got Super Pro Decathlon, like a track and field, great game. Tower of Doom. I loved Tower of Doom.
Yeah.
That is it's basically like if you were to take Cloudy Mountain and just kind of amplify it times 2. It was kind of that same, you'd crawl and make the maze as you went through it, or the map. But you also were able to like select different icons, pick them, store them. Just a cool kind of thing. But yeah, so there it is. So 12
good dungeon
games.
Crawler RPG.
Yeah. And of course the Tower of Doom is the skull, the Reaper on the front, which is pretty sweet. So having both these, I'd really want to know. So if someone was saying earlier, and I can't remember because my brain doesn't work. Bowling people, get your league on. Yeah, like what's the secret if you put both Intellivision cartridges in the VS? Someone was saying. I don't
think anybody in chat said. They just said that there was a bonus of some sort or a hidden secret kind of thing.
Did they put Vectron on the Evercade 2? That's a shame. Exactly, man. In my opinion. I played a George Game says one of the prototype games is a reversey style games called Georgelio. Like Othello. You can play it on my portfolio. That's awesome. Darkside says Blaze put some really oddball games on these carts. Well, a lot of these, excuse me, were picked by Intellivision people. Yeah. But I'm hoping the next one, Mellow is making a comeback. That's pretty awesome. So we do have a live poll going right now, and it is, what would you like to see on the Evercade? Oh my God, we got 55 votes in already. Bowling is in the lead, which I agree. That just is one that has to be part of Intellivision. It's like Intellivision history right there. Bowling is at 44%. Chip Shot Super Pro Golf, 13%. Horse racing at 20%. And then they always wanted to do a homebrew, which was not, I was kind of disappointed was not on here.
Yeah.
So I put in there Tale of Dragons and Swords, the homebrew, which is a great little Zelda style RPG, kind of just awesome. It's probably one of the best in-depth games I played for the original Intellivision as far as homebrew.
See, that's the one I picked because I'm always kind of a sucker for like a D&D style game anyway.
B-17 Bomber's another one. That'd be good.
And I'd like to see the convergence of the homebrew community with the official Intellivision, the official Atari, 100%. Coleco, all of these older brands that are putting out, this collection. This is the perfect place to highlight that there is fantastic new games over the past 20 years.
I think they ought to just do like an Intellivision homebrew cart. Why not, right? There's enough of them now.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
That would be very expensive, very little. I mean, I think most of those the rights would go to the individual publishers, to the developers. So I think it probably would be too expensive for them to pull that off. But I could see them working off one or two in each of these collections.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm all about that community. Actually, some new ones came out too, and which we'll talk about on the Monday show when we're doing all the classic stuff too. What color shoes you wearing? Well, they are black and gray, sir. You'd be proud, and they're Fila's. Mellow Yellow is great, sweeter. Oh, I used to love Mellow Yellow. I have a Cubert. It has the multi game in it, and it has a Mellow Yellow Cubert, which is like a promo for Mellow Yellow, and everything's like yellow and green on the Cubert screen. Has anyone reached it? Yeah, I talked to him here and there, and he's going through some personal stuff. Nothing to do with Intellivision, just kind of he's letting Phil and everybody take care of Intellivision right now. But no, I don't know when he'll be back, but I hope soon. I really do. I hope soon. I know a lot of us just miss him and want to see him get back on and be silly and have fun on the YouTubes and on the interwebs.
Yeah.
I hadn't really heard from him in a while. I reached out to him a couple times and didn't really get much of a reply. And I'm like, well, maybe he still needs his space. So I just kind of left him alone at that point.
Yeah. I chatted with him briefly last week, and he seems to be doing all right. Right.
Yeah. A little bit better,
Yeah. With where Intellivision is, it's difficult, of course, but there's just been so much going on that I think like him taking a step back, it's good for the company. I mean, him being right out in front, he's taken a lot of slings and arrows for that. So it's a better position for him, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the secret games are, if anyone's put those two in, because I guess there's a lot of them when you put a couple things in there.
I'm sure somebody has. I mean, if you talk to, trying to think, Papa Pete has it, but I don't think he's opened it, has he? Didn't he have
he's got a lot. I don't think he's open yet. Horn Dog, awesome avatar, by the way. Is it true Amico trademark is done? No, actually, it was kind of faked out. It was
it wasn't faked out. It was there was one that expired. They were just I think
they weren't using it. Yeah, no. The as far as Amico and Intellivision, Amico and their Amico logo and everything, it's not dead. It was renewed back on June 30th, and IGN published an article and showed the screenshot. It was just the trademark page or whatever wasn't updating. So it's finally updated now, but it's
their system. Yeah, their trademark portal to note to the public what trademarks have been approved or expired, or what is the status of any trademark for a search. but they have multiple trademarks that are still
Yeah.
live and active. They have a live trademark for Amico. They have a live trademark for Intellivision. They have a live trademark for Intellivision together again. They have like 5 or 6 live trademarks. One that expired was Intellivision Amico, which is a redundant trademark. You already have Intellivision, you already have Amico. If that expires and someone tries to use it, I'm sorry, but you already are using Intellivision, you're already using Amico for commercial purposes. You're selling shirts, you're selling content with that name. You have licensed deals with MLB, with Sesame Street, with Koch Media, with all of these entities showing commerce using Intellivision and Amico. That doesn't stand anywhere. So, like I said earlier with Google, you have something like a lapse. You know, it's as with many of these things, it doesn't look good, but I think there was a lot kind of blown up about that without doing much digging.
Yeah,
no, there were other live trademarks, and nobody reached out to nobody confirmed with Intellivision that, you know, they were going under. They just sort of you have a crumb, you saw, you know, someone's LinkedIn profile that they're looking for another job, and that's a story.
Right.
There's an expired trademark, that's a story. You know, I heard from somebody that they're going bankrupt. That's a story. You know, this is just sort of the phase we are in with this story right now.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely true. And that's the thing is that, it's still, they still have it. They still own it. It's, it has been updated. And I like, if you'll see an IGN article published showing the proof that it went live.
That article's already out, by the way. It's been out. Yeah.
I'm a little behind. I'm 12 days behind, so I'm trying. I'll believe these guys because they've seen it. No,
well, I was also on IGN's page just browsing today, and I saw it up there.
The Intellivision Amico Club, the official group on the Facebook page, they published a photo of the IGN thing as well there. Edwin says, "When's the Amico coming out?" I don't know. I do know that there's production units being shipped out. And after that, it would be production. So
they
that's
said
where we're at until we hear more, unfortunately. And it's been delays and it's been disappointing, but we'll hopefully get there. You know, I'm hoping.
They said, I think the email was on June 9th. It may have been June 8th, somewhere around there. They said they expect to have the initial production units complete in a few weeks. So they should be wrapping up those situation always unknown. Delays being what they always are, we would expect them to be, or they were expecting to wrap up their production of the initial units to get out to some pre-production units to make sure the production's okay by about this time. I mean, 3 weeks from June 8th is the beginning of July. So that's about when they expected to have them completed.
Yeah. So I'm sure within another week or so, maybe we can reach out and find some stuff out for you guys, or if we hear something, we'll report it here first. You'll hear it. But we're just waiting on for the production units and seeing where those are going, and then and going from there. And if those all are looking great and people are having fun, then I think that's their next step is the mass production. So we're hoping, I mean, that's all. We're just hoping and waiting at this point. Yeah. Oh, Mr. Black says they will attempt a last effort. Well, that's the main thing is just to get it out. I don't know if it's a last effort. They're going to keep going with it, but it's. I think what he's trying to say is not to raise capital. It's more or less to show a functioning console that's ready for production.
Yeah.
That's the way I put it.
At this point, I mean, if they were going to pay somebody to have a good review, or if they're going to send it out and say that this is amazing, they could go that route. I would prefer they send them out to some of these family channels that have kids and can reach some of their target audience that they've been talking about wanting to reach for a while. I think that's always been the talk, and it hasn't been the walk. So it'd be nice to send it out to some of those types of entities rather than just try and get it out to somebody that says, like, I'll give you a good review. And is it going to stay in the retro gaming community? Is it going to move to its actual market? That's I think where it needs to go.
Mr. Blackshear says, don't they need further capital? I think they're already working with someone. Obviously, that's not been made public, as far as their quiet thing is this, whoever they're working with. But I think that's why they came out of quiet time, because they're just they want to see these functioning units and see them, people playing them. So yeah, no, I don't think they need at this point. They don't need I think that's already been established. They don't need that right now. But I understand it's kind of disappointing that it's not coming out, this month or anything. But I'm hoping by end of year something's going to happen with this. I mean, we all hoping. It's been a long road, man. I understand.
It's been a slog.
It's also been excessively quiet, this year since February. They've only kind of spoke publicly or did the one reveal of the, what the box and packaging would look like. So I would like to hear more from the company.
Yeah.
I understand they don't want to be kind of out there in front like they were. You set yourself up needlessly at this point, but you can't swing all the way to like no communication. So I would expect to hear something more. We heard a little bit at the beginning of June. It'd be nice to hear something at least monthly on the status of where they are and what they're doing.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I mean, some people are going to want daily, but I would think, at least kind of every month or so would be a good.
Yeah, just have like a little
good indication, because there's a lot of people with orders and questions.
Yeah. Speaking of orders and questions, that's a terrible segue. So across the country is where I drove for 12 days, mostly driving. I went all the way as far as San Diego, California, and all the way back to the Detroit, Michigan area. And a couple stops in Nashville, which is one of my favorite places. And there's the Dukes of Hazzard Museum there. It has like the cars and all the memorabilia and the shirts, and oh my god, from peanut butter and jelly to barbecue sauce, you name it, anything Dukes of Hazzard, it's insane. But they also had a full room, a rack of all these movie cars. They were little like Matchbox renditions of every car been in a movie, a television series, anything. And I had to pick this up, and it is the 81 Dodge Diplomat used in The Greatest American Hero, drove by Bill Maxwell.
I have not seen that show, and I couldn't tell you when. I could still hum part of the theme.
Believe it or not. But I thought that was like the coolest thing. I was like, no, I have to get this.
My oldest requests The Greatest American Hero. We play that on like almost every road trip we take. So that's
the song you're saying,
the song, yeah. She loves it.
Believe it or not.
I was about to say, if you found an actual Dukes of Hazzard car in
I didn't, David. Sorry.
I'd say if you found a Dukes of Hazzard card in a blister pack there, I probably would have picked it up, just because everything about that car is total cancel culture right now, and has been for a while.
I was all over. Let me get in Second Street. Yeah, I was in Music City in Nashville. It's kind of like it's right across from the Grand Ole Opry. It's Cooter's Place, which is the Dukes of Hazzard Museum. Willie Nelson's General Store, which is the Willie Nelson, Waylon, and Johnny and Patsy Cline, like this tour you can do. They have like the pool table all the Outlaws played on. They got like the tour bus seats from when Patsy Cline and Willie Nelson went on tour. Stuff from the Grand Ole Opry. So that's and it's got a store full of souvenirs. And then next to that is the Nashville Palace. There's live music. And then there's the legendary Scoreboard Bar and Grill, which now has this huge outdoor concert place with a stage and these two huge bars, and they serve the most amazing smoked hot chicken. It's voted the best hot chicken in Nashville, according to the Food Network years ago. I showed up there when it was like a little standalone sports bar building. It was just called the Scoreboard. Now it's this huge like concert place, and yeah, it's unbelievable. But I always like going there. Oh, I love the Dukes of Hazzard, yes. But anyways, without further ado, so beyond that, I did make it out to I had to go through Texas. I stopped in Arizona. I stopped in Oklahoma. I do have a video, like a vlog that I'm going to put out and kind of edit together the best I can. And then I made it all the way out to my buddy Trevor lived out in San Diego, right on the border of Mexico. So it's like some of the best Mexican food you're ever gonna have. So we did that. Went out and got sushi. Went out and got Mexican. Anyways, why am I talking about that? Because I hit retro gaming stores on the West Side, and I found one for my 125, and it is Tropical Trouble in box for only $50. Like, and I don't know if you guys know, but like this is one of those ones that get it's pretty I want to say rare, but it's one I didn't have, and it's usually very pricey. And it comes with like it's mint condition instructions, and then I got obviously the 2 overlays that are absolute mint, and then the awesome iMagic cartridge, which is in perfect shape. So I was like, this is one I really needed. You know, I'm up to like 100 and maybe 106 or something, or maybe more. For my, I have to recount everything for my 125. You know, obviously I don't have Spiker, but that was a really good pickup. And then I'll try to go through these quick. And then I got this PlayStation 1 Dukes of Hazzard because I just had to, right? Daisy dukes it out. Yeah. And then I got a PS2 game. I couldn't pass this up for $8. Rocky boxing game. You guys ever play that for PS2?
Yeah.
No, I never had a PS2.
That's actually a really good game. Look, you even
got
like
have that on Xbox.
Punching the meat. And then you got the Drago fight and everything on there. It's so great, dude. But then going into this, you know, me trying to get some of those really early Genesis games. So obviously I didn't want to really get all the sports ones, but there was one that was $12 and it's in a grid. It's the original black grid game. And that's Sports Talk Baseball for Sega Genesis.
Yeah, Genesis was just like overwhelmed with sports games by the end of its run.
And then Fatal Labyrinth for Genesis too. I
don't remember Fatal Labyrinth. That looks like the kind of
game
I would have
never had it, but it's absolutely mint in box. And I cannot as I crush the thing. And then I had to pick this up because you could find it anywhere. But I just happened to be there. I was like, I need to get this Eternal Champions.
Yeah, that's one of those games I would love to have in the collection just for the cover art, but it's kind of hard to go back and play now.
Okay, I got to catch up on chat here. Well, or at least the last part of it's jumping around like crazy. Remember when Michael Knight was playing Atari? Yeah, but it ended up being auto racing from Intellivision that he was using an Atari joystick playing in the Knight Rider episode. That's awesome.
Michael, something about this feed setup doesn't feel right.
I have PS2 figures get tired for punching. It's tough to knock other guys out. Yeah, I'm gonna probably do some stuff on it. Sega CD probably the best version of that, dude.
My only worry with the Sega CD version would be the load times would be abysmal. The Sega CD was such a slow CD drive because it was so early.
Oh, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to pull up all the. I forgot to upload them. The Slappy Marsden things for over the holidays. He had a Canada Day one. Then he had the Avalanche holding up the cup, but it was Amico and the guys.
I saw that one.
And then he had the 4th of July decked out all America Amico, which was pretty funny. Yeah. Oh yeah. The Dukes of Hazzard. Was that Racing for Home or no? That was the first one. I can't remember. I used to have all the Dukes of Hazzard games, and of course, back then you just sell them because you don't think. Oh, he has it on Sega CD Eating Paste. How about that?
He doesn't have on Sega CD.
Yeah, right. He's got some nice Sega CDs. Oh, I got to back up here. I'm missing everything.
Red Rob, yeah. Sega has a long history of
neither
huge
of them
success
use instructions.
with sports titles in general. So yeah, I was never a sports game fan, so they never appealed to me. But they have plenty of other stuff that I usually had their consoles anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, they flopped with the Master System going up against the Nintendo in Japan and in the U.S. and North America. So they really went hot and heavy with going for the teenage and 20-something audience, and sports games and simulator games were a big deal. And EA figured out how they cracked the system so they could publish their own independent games. And EA was looking to do a lot of sports. They had the Madden license. It blew up.
Yeah, the Genesis is where they could actually really compete. The Master System, I want to say it was like 64 million and NES units versus
huge
10
Brazil,
million Master System units. Something like that. It was and kind of a landslide.
And a lot of those 10 million Sega Master Systems were in Europe or Brazil and like in the 90s. So that was like as the Nintendo was dying out, as the Famicom was dying out, Sega was getting a lot of those. It was quite the blowout in its
Well, by that time too, they had the Master System 2 out because it dropped in 1990 and it was cheaper too.
Yeah, but that still counts for the numbers for that 10 million.
Well, no, I know it counts for the numbers, but it also made it more affordable. Is my point.
Yeah. Well, it's the same with the Nintendo in later years where they had the
they had the top loader with the dog bone controller. Yeah,
the $50
that's the one
system.
I actually have right now. San Diego's close to Irvine. I did not go to Intellivision or to Irvine. No, I went to San Diego, then was in Orange County, my old stomping grounds, for just an evening. I didn't have as much time to do stuff because of the travel. But anyways, yeah.
You had to at least like stop and show us like your Running Man impression of you in like Irvine or something. Yeah.
No, I
save it for the photo show.
Yeah, I got like a vlog. Like I went to, my buddy took me. He lived in San Diego and close to there. He drove a little ways. We went to a beach called South Beach. It's where there was this place where the Screwball peanut butter whiskey was originally made. And so we went to this bar and we had these wings and we had there's all this legendary food and all these shots and different things. And inside this bar, it had the tree from Game of Thrones with the face and the red leaves on it, that white tree. Mm-hmm. Pretty cool. Anyways, I got a bunch of silly things I did on the South Beach Pier, which apparently is falling apart. And they just blocked off part of it. I'm like, wasn't the whole pier built at the same time? And you're like, just the end that tees off, man, that is dangerous. You can't go there, but the rest, go ahead. So we was kind of joking about that, but there's like a little video I do where I'm talking about how it's shut down, and it should be fairly entertaining, hopefully. What is happening here? I'm green with MB over that shirt. Which one?
Pace wants my Art Big
Fall
shirt.
The Art Big Fall.
Yeah, he wants my Art Big Fall shirt.
That big ugly looking head on Art Big Fall. Can't believe it.
I'm just noticing it now.
He says, I'll trade you 3 Castlevanias and 7 Contras. That's a lot of Castlevanias and Contras, and you know he's good.
A lot of Contras.
Yeah.
How much did he spend on gas? I was just putting it together. One way all the way out there was close to 600. So 600 one way, 600 another back. So about 1,200 just on gas.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah. Luckily, I sold one of my arcades.
I was pretty surprised the last time I filled up my tank because it was like $75 to fill up my tank, and I'm like, wow, it's normally like $45 to $50 to fill up my tank.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to swallow there. Yeah, no, it cost me like $100 if I were to fill up. I usually, when I travel though, I do like a half. I usually fill up like a half a tank. I don't let it go below half if I'm just traveling where I don't know where I'm at. Just in case I
would do the same thing. Like almost any gas stop, if you're getting anywhere near half a tank, you just stop.
I pretty much did drive
and you fill your tank.
So my truck is I had it up. I had it checked. I'm like, I'm taking, now mind you, it's a 20-year-old vehicle, right? It's a Chevy truck, and it ran very awesome, and I had everything. They're like, yeah, everything's good to go. It has ice cold air conditioning, but something happened on the way there. I was like, okay, it's 90 degrees. I'm popping the air conditioning on, and everything was like, it was like power failure. If the air conditioning ran like too high or something, I was like, you know what? I am afraid to turn this on because I was driving through like the deserts and stuff. So at some points it's 110 degrees and I am just pouring sweat with all the windows down going, but the car was running. It wasn't overheating. I was like, I do not dare press that air conditioning button or it's going to explode. So that was the worst part. That was the worst part about everything.
I remember I used to have an old Honda Civic hatchback, like a 1980s one. And he used to call turning off the AC my turbo button. There were a couple times I actually couldn't pull that car up a hill unless I turned off the AC.
It's weird. That's what this, I think, has something to do with my self-start. I need to get it taken off because I think it does a drain on anytime the car comes on. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't keeping up with the chat here. If they have money now, like you say, when they are giving refunds. They started giving refunds after that announcement.
Yeah, I just don't think they did them all in one big swatch.
No, it's a slow delivery. I think.
Yeah, they're doing them one at a time, pretty much. They're going through them. But yeah, they're doing them now.
There's another question Mr. Black Shoes had about funding. I don't think anyone knows anything further about funding. They made no announcements other than they have.
It's just from the
they're working to put games on other systems, and put their games on other platforms. I don't know about systems, but other platforms. So that could be some funding there. I don't know what specifically they have worked out, but we're now in July and they're still in operation and they haven't made any statement. They could drop at any moment, as people are speculating. That's always a possibility. But they're continuing to go. And as long as they're continuing to go, they have money.
Sorry.
I don't know where it's from. We can all speculate, but it's anybody can throw at any best guesses.
Yeah, you guys got to understand, nobody here on this panel knows anything about their finances, nor should we. Not part of the Intellivision company. We are not their financiers. We are not their accountants.
Ugh. Sorry, guys. Oh, my God. I had to do it.
What did you do?
That's my Atari creep.
Oh, that's a dust cover you were telling me about.
Yeah, the cover. I got this from one of Chris's streams. It was like a prototype one he worked on, but it says the Atari creep on it. I think it's 2021. And it's like it's a dust cover for your cartridge slot of your Atari 2600. Anyways,
very cool.
I almost broke my back, but I went down to my low shelf and pulled it out of my Atari. Now Gus is going to get in there.
Creeper could have custom painted it. Just saying.
Yeah, no,
cool.
this was just one of the first ones. He's got some crazy cool ones now. Actually, they were reporting refunds on a lot of the places. If you know anyone that hasn't gotten one, I'd like to know. Yeah, no, I know they were doing them. They were kind of slowly doing them, but they're rolling them out. They're just getting to all the emails right now. As far as I know, man, like I don't work for the company, but that's what I've heard.
Yeah,
I haven't heard any more complaints about it.
I heard a few people come in, and it was a couple of weeks ago that came in and said they got their refund.
Yeah,
past that, I don't know. I haven't asked for one.
Mentioning in the Facebook group that they have been refunded. So there have been some people making some public comments, but I don't know who has a running list on who's still awaiting their refund.
I don't think anybody outside of Intellivision would have that.
Yeah, I mean, I have no clue. I really don't. But I mean, I've heard that. I thought that was already, addressed or whatever. But where the thing went? Oh, there it is. So PJ Smith says,
I'm sort of impressed. We went almost an hour before somebody said it.
No, there was a couple mentions.
Were there? Okay, yeah. I must have missed them.
The chat was jumping.
Oh my God! It just great time with Fall Guys last night. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, they did big Fall Guys stream, and they've been doing that a couple of times now on
Big Block says I haven't.
They keep trying to pull me into it, but I have like a dislike of Fall Guys in general. And usually when they want to start up is like when my wife's like, "So we're gonna spend any time together tonight?" I'm like, "Yes, dear." Hey, I got to choose between Mike and my wife. I'm gonna pick my wife.
Speaking of time together,
smart man.
We got
I'd like to see.
No offense, Mike.
If you haven't taken part in the chat poll, which we're about to cut off in a couple more minutes, we got 64 votes in. Let's see if we can get this. I think we know what it's going to be. What Intellivision game should be on the next Evercade cart? It was a choice between Chip Shot, Super Pro Golf, bowling, as it should be, because that's just a staple, horse racing, and then a homebrew of Tale of Dragons and Swords. Right now, we got bowling in the lead at 44% and Dragons and Swords at second at 23%. I don't think the other two are really going to get much traction, but yeah, place your vote. I'm glad it's bowling, man, because that's like my all-time favorite.
I kind of want to play it on the Intellivision now, just because you've talked it up so much.
Well, it is. It's once you have to learn how to, because you have to set your curve. You have to set the dot to where the ball is going to drop. You got to set your thing as the guy. So it's like 3 different settings before he throws it. Once you get that, it's like beautifully complicated for the time.
It sounds a lot like other bowling games I've played, like the Brunswick bowling that I played in the early 2000s.
I just absolutely love it.
And it almost the same thing. You had a power level, you had like the tilt of your hand, and then you had a position of your feet and stuff like that.
Yeah, this one you basically is your bowler. You have to line your bowler up on where you want him to run from.
Yeah.
Then you hold a button, and the white target is where you're going to throw your ball onto the lane, and you stop it where you want him to throw the ball. And then before he releases the ball on the disc, you have a curve from, like, basically if it was a clock, it'd be 6 o'clock being the most curve all the way down, all the way to 9 o'clock, like counterclockwise, or anyway, it's like 3 o'clock would be straight and the more curved towards 6. Depending if you're right or left, it would obviously if you're right-handed, it curves to the left. If you're left-handed, obviously it throws to the right. But it is, and then there's also a loft feature right before his hand goes back and then as he's in the forward motion that you could hit for a fourth super curve if you want. So like I'm telling you, for a game that came out in 1980 or 79 or whatever it was, that it was the most. I love the sounds. I love the look. It's all a bunch of pixels. I love it. It's my favorite. Someone should do an ET
poetically
homebrew
about bowling on Intellivision.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it is. Talk about a wicked. Yes, thank you, Chris. You're right, man.
Jan, to answer your question, man, I don't think they're, as far as I know, and I know we've addressed this a couple times on the show, they are not putting any of the revisited or reimagined games on other platforms as of right now. Nobody said anything directly, but we all suspect that basically they're just doing the original Intellivision titles.
Yeah, it's gonna be like this stuff is what they're making money on right now, and you may see it. This is just me speculating once again, but I would say PS5 or PlayStation Store, Xbox Store, or Switch. They're gonna maybe have an Intellivision greatest hits collection, or a sports collection, or an action collection, or something like that. I don't think it's any of the Amico style games, or Amico games. I think it's all classic IPs, as from what I've heard. Excuse me. I went bowling one time, had a bunch of quarters in my pocket, and I threw the ball real hard and stepped out of line, but busted my ass, and quarters came out everywhere.
Ooh.
Welcome back. It's pretty quiet without. Yeah, I got a lot of videos coming up. I have a little vacation vlog coming out. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. But what else were we talking about today?
I don't know. The main thing that we had as far as news we already covered.
With the trademark was something simple, but
yeah, and then we were talking about the Evercade earlier and the various different cards.
Yes, yeah, that's my thing. So I'm going to end this poll. Let's see, we got it won it at 44% bowling. Oh my god, that's as it should be, as it really should be. Why isn't it letting me end it? Oh, that's why.
It will not end.
It's like this will never end.
It is.
By the way,
forever.
if anyone hasn't subscribed, apparently I hit 800 as I was gone on vacation. I got like 5 new subscribers while I was not doing any content. So maybe once I start doing content, they'll start dropping below 800 again.
Yeah, once they realize what they signed up for.
yeah, they're like, oh no.
They're like, this guy seems cool. He never does content.
Yeah, if he just shut up, maybe we just maybe enjoy some of the stuff. But
that's the sweet.
He comes out throwing flamingos in our face, and Amico and Intellivision, and he's a crazy person. But please subscribe. Nick, what you got coming up? I know you have a lot of stuff going on, actually. And by the way, I just got done watching your Atari video on your Geekstorian page.
Yeah, that's one I migrated over to the new channel. So, by the way, I launched a new channel. It's called the Geekstorian. I can throw a channel link in if anybody wants the channel. Yeah. It's been up for this is week 2. So I've got a couple of things on there that are new to that channel. And that's gaming oddities and moments in gaming history. And then I'm slowly migrating a lot of my game history content. The Atari one was one of those. And then I'll be migrating the rest of the stuff over as well and doing game mechanics on that channel. Yeah. So if you guys are fans of that content, that will be where you will see that content moving forward. And as I launch it there, I'm going to privatize it on my original channel. It won't drop completely off of there, but it won't be on that channel because I want it to have... I feel like this new channel is a better spot to put this stuff because it's all kind of cohesive and on the same theme rather than being kind of all over the board, which is where my original channel is. Cool. So hopefully it'll give it a little bit more focus and a little bit more eyes on glass, and people will more people that really want to see it will see it, as opposed to like just a small subset of what I have on my original channel.
Well, it better
So-
sets the expectations, I think, of what people are going to see when they come to that channel. Where they're looking for short documentaries. They have one channel, and they're looking for play and interesting fun and games. I think are on the other, or the oddities and.
Right. So it'll have a mix of short form and long form content. A lot of the stuff is somewhere between like 5 and 6 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes. And then you'll have some longer stuff on there. The longest one that's going to be the longest one I've done, period, is I have a history of Metroid video I did. And I think that's 27 minutes or something ridiculous. I think that's the longest one I've done. Now that sounds laughably short compared to like half the stuff that Rap works on, but I'm not Rap.
You actually deliver content.
Wait, didn't you do a stream the other day, or did that never happen?
Me? I did a stream.
I thought Rab did a stream or something, didn't you?
Yesterday, yes. I finished up Tales from Outer Space Mutant Blob. Mutant Blob Attacks, I think. It's a really
maybe
long
it was
title.
Nick. I'm sorry, it was Nick.
It was just Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't know how to stream. I would just be lost, sucking at the game and angry at the chat, and just like, this is done. This is done.
So me?
Just cut the cord and not figure out how to cut it. So I'm just like blacking out the camera. It's over. It's over.
It's over. I can't do this. I can't do it. I need more.
So you were going to be another
You guys
me?
aren't
I
making
feel
it
like
any
that'll
better.
work for you, sir.
Not sure of that. No, we were on a we were on a stream with our friend of the show, Phoenix.
Actually, I was in my hotel, and I clicked on your guys' trivia game challenge, Jeopardy. And if you guys haven't checked it out, go to Panda Sub 2000.
Don't check it out.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, it was so
Nick was
painful.
there.
we were annihilated.
He was a grumpy Gus.
And the thing is it sounds like we're just getting belligerent towards the end of it, but you have to realize we did that section for like an hour and a half, and he cut it down to like just under 40 minutes.
I saw the cuts. I was like,
mentally
oh, this wasn't
abused
live.
for like an hour and a half. It
Don't
was so
Don't
bad.
cross the stream.
That is the stream, sir.
We're
We're going 2 hours.
Dude,
I'm gonna shamelessly pimp my new channel out. By the way,
I want
if
to
you
do
don't
full size
mind.
arcade though.
Please do.
Not one.
I'm gonna just drop a link here just in case anybody wants it.
Yes, yeah. People were asking about that.
It
So,
is, it's a great.
There's the link to the new channel.
There it is.
It has new intros for everything. It's kind of funny because I've kind of got two intros. I've got the main intro that I put in before everything, and then I've got the individual intros for the individual segments. Because I did the one for the individual segments before I did the main one that Panda Sub 2000 was nice enough to help me out with. He really supplied me with some really cool stuff.
Hey, later.
And it
Chris,
looks
thanks for coming in, man.
amazing, and I can't thank him enough for it. It looks outstanding.
Yeah.
Later, Creep.
And Mr. Black Shoes, I do agree. I would love a new plug and play HDMI with a cart option. If they're going to do another one, throw a cart option in there like Sega did. You know, I don't know what it takes to do that, but I mean, if Sega can do it for, $60 or whatever, I'm sure Intellivision can do it too. But I'd love that same flashback with a cart adapter so that you can play HDMI with your old.
I would
carts
like them
or
to
these
do like a USB
home
plug-in Intellivision controller. I feel like that's kind of overdue because there's a couple of consoles that could use that, right? Like ColecoVision had that same keypad.
Yeah.
Intellivision had the keypad. The 5200 had the keypad.
And
They
can't
didn't use the
those
same
games
control
without-
stick for each one of them, but you could work with it if
Yeah.
somebody would come out with one, right? It doesn't have to look like any one of them, just something, right?
Yeah. I agree, man. But with that being said, I think we're going to take off, but it's good to be back. Hopefully we'll get some more news this coming week. And so next week's show, we'll have some something to share. We'll see, we're getting around that time and space and space-time continuum, flux capacitor and all that.
We can also
Yep.
talk about food and what it does to you in your old age. We
Yes.
always got
Oh, I
topics.
love talking
Nothing
about
good.
food. Make sure you subscribe to the Geek Historian. Follow the link, Geeks with Cash, Retro Advisory Board, and this silly guy here, DJC Game Studios, and me, Mr. Dress Up. All right. Well,
Long live our Bitfall.
we'll see. Yeah, and don't subscribe to Art Big Fall. He doesn't exist anymore. See you later. We'll see you next time.
Later, guys. Have a good night.
Later.